Hi, this is SpookyRecapped here, and today I'm going to recap the movie Drag Me to Hell. The movie starts out in California in 1969. A distressed couple are carrying their child into a mansion. The little boy is hearing voices and seeing hallucinations as they bring him inside. The women start doing a ritual, but a force is throwing the little boy over a balcony. The floor opens up, and a hand grabs the boy and takes him to hell. In the present, we are introduced to the main protagonist, Christine. She's working at a bank, and she wants a new position, but she's competing with the new guy, Stu. Christine's boss tells her that she needs to be more aggressive, like Stu. She goes to have lunch with her boyfriend, Clay. She gives him an old coin she found at the bank. Clay is collecting old coins, so he's very happy about it. When Christine leaves, she overhears a conversation between Clay and his strict parents. They haven't met Christine yet, but they already do not like her because of her social status. This upsets her, so she goes back to work. An old woman called Ganush sits down by her desk. She is asking Christine for a third extension of her mortgage. Christine says that she will try to ask her boss. Her boss says that it's her call, and to show him that she can be aggressive as well, she denies Ganush the extension. Ganush goes down on her knees and starts to beg Christine. Christine ends up calling security as Ganush refuses to let go of her. When Christine tries to tell her that she is sorry, Ganush attacks her. Security has to grab her and take her outside. Her boss is impressed, and he is asking Christine to take some important work home with her. When she leaves work, she goes to the parking space to get her car, but she feels as if something is wrong. When she gets inside of her car, she sees Ganush's tissue slowly flying towards her. When looking around, Ganush is sitting in the backseat of the car. They start fighting, and Christine grabs a stapler and staples her head. Christine starts backing up, and Ganush rips some of Christine's hair out. Ganush gets to the front seat and tries biting Christine's face, but her teeth has fallen out. Christine kicks her out of the car and locks it from the inside. But Ganush grabs a concrete block and breaks the car window. She takes a button off Christine's jacket and starts saying some strange words. She returns the button to Christine, and she faints. When she wakes up, Ganush is gone. Later, she meets up with Clay, and they're talking about the incident. Christine starts to feel off again, and she wants to go to a fortune teller. Clay thinks it's dumb, but agrees to go with her. She meets the fortune teller, Ram, and he tells her to sit down. Ram takes her hand and notices that she's missing a button. A wind starts flipping the pages of a book, and Ram gets a creepy vision, scaring him. He tells her that she's been cursed, and there's nothing he can do. Clay does not believe any of this, so they drive home. Christine is home alone when she hears a strange noise. All of a sudden, the curtain catches a strong wind and all the lights go out. She goes to the kitchen, but a devil-shaped shadow attacks her, knocking Christine to the ground. She gets up and all the lights are back on. Clay comes home and he thinks Ganush attacked her, but Christine says that nobody was there. At night, Christine and Clay are sleeping when a fly enters her mouth, waking her up. When laying down again, Ganush is right next to her. She attacks Christine, but luckily she wakes up. Later at work, Stu comes over to her desk to ask her some work questions. She sees Ganush's hand tapping on her desk. This makes Christine freak out. Her boss comes over to see what happened, and Christine starts bleeding violently. While everyone is distracted, Stu steals Christine's files. Later on, Christine goes to Ganush's house. A young girl opens the door and invites her in. She realizes that Ganush has died, and she's at her funeral. Christine goes back to see Ram. He tells her that she might be able to get rid of the demon by sacrificing an animal. When she gets home, she's approached by the demon again, so she runs upstairs and locks the door. She tries calling Clay, but he does not pick up. Her phone suddenly dies, and she's getting tossed around the room. She goes to the kitchen to grab a knife and kills her cat. She goes outside to bury the pet and gets ready to meet Clay's parents. They arrive at Clay's parents' house, and they open the door. Christine has brought a homemade cake. They're sitting, having a good time, when Christine is starting to feel off again. When she puts a fork to the cake, an eye appears inside it. A high-pitched noise is deafening Christine. She starts coughing, and a fly comes out her mouth. Something starts banging loudly on the door, and Christine throws a glass to make it stop. Clay's parents asks her to leave, so she does. She goes back to yell at Ram, and he tells her that he might know someone who can actually help. She needs a lot of cash though. She goes to pack a suitcase full of her most expensive stuff and goes to a pawn shop. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough money. Even though Clay is skeptical, he gives her the rest of the money anyway. They drive to the mansion from the beginning of the movie, and Christine wants to go in alone. Inside the mansion, she meets Ram. He introduces her to the woman from the beginning, Sandina. They walk into a big room and sit down at a round table. They start chanting to invite the demon in. Suddenly, Sandina stops. The demon has arrived. The demon enters Sandina, and Christine tries to put her hand on the goat, but the goat bites the other guy, transferring the demon inside him instead. The demon throws a chair at Ram and flies to Christine. It throws up her cat. Sandina wakes up and exorcises the demon, but she gets a heart attack and dies right there on the floor. When an ambulance arrives, Ram tells Christine that this is not over. A medium cannot exorcise a demon that powerful, and it will still come for her. But he tells her that she can pass the curse by giving the button to another person. When Christine and Clay are driving home, she sees Ganush appear in the front of the car, almost making them crash. The envelope containing the button falls to the floor, but she luckily finds it. She then goes to a diner to look for someone to pass the curse to. She sees a sick old man sitting alone and starts walking over to him, but his wife appears, so she won't give it to him. She then calls Stu and tells him to come to the diner. She tells him that she knows he stole her files. Stu comes rushing to the diner, and he breaks down in tears. Christine decides not to give him the curse after all, so she sends him on his way. When looking in the newspaper, she sees Ganush's obituary and gets an idea. She goes back to Ram to ask if it's possible to pass the curse to a deceased person. He says it should be possible, as souls never truly die. She then drives to the cemetery and digs up Ganush's grave. When she has finished digging, she puts the envelope in her mouth and tries climbing up from the grave. But because of the heavy rain, a big iron crucifix falls down, hitting her head. She sinks down the muddy water, but re-emerges quickly. The next day, Christine goes to meet Clay at a train station. He is planning to propose to Christine. When she arrives, Clay says that he has found an envelope she had lost in his car. She took the wrong envelope by mistake. When she sees the button, she freaks out. She falls down to the train tracks, and the ground opens up. Hands are grabbing Christine, pulling her down. Clay is left in shock. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more content like this. And stay spooked, people.